Moving on, in 2010, South Africa made history by hosting Africa's first ever World Cup. Now it is the turn of Qatar to make history and host another successful event. But what lessons can the latest host take from South Africa, who put on quite the show over a decade ago? CGTN Sias to Plessis has more.
11 years ago, the entire world was focused on South Africa. The Rainbow Nation was hosting an historic World Cup, the first on African soil. The country had brand new stadiums, improved infrastructure, and the people of South Africa were celebrating the beautiful game as one for the first time since 1996, when Bafana Bafana won the Africa Cup of Nations.
22 was enormous for me. In the sense that, only gone overseas to watch major football World Cups, and then we could have at our own shores, showcasing our country, the stadiums that we have here, as a holiday destination of the future, and how important that is immense. So the World Cup of 2010, I mean, you talk about South Africa to the football world. They know where it is now, where they didn't know it before.
For those fortunate enough to represent their country at the football showpiece on home soil, it was truly special to be a part of history.
It was a big moment for Africa. It was a big moment for South Africa. There was doubt that we're not capable of hosting such a big world sporting event, and we killed that doubt. And we also proved to the world that Africa is capable. Africa can do it, and if only given a fair chance. And 2010 was also, a year where a dream of so many players came true.
We left a really, really positive impression on the whole world. As a host nation, I think we did incredibly well to produce a special World Cup and a great World Cup. I'm sure the Spanish would agree, because they won it in Africa.
The legacy from the 2010 World Cup lives on in South Africa, but now the onus is on the future generation of Bafana Bafana players to continue to fly the flag at global tournaments.
We look at the stadiums we have and stuff like that. It meant everything to me as a fan, and I think, as it can have a huge impact on a country, and I think we're still feeling the aftermath of that, and hopefully now we can start fielding the effects on the field and start qualifying again for World Cups.
The World Cup, shows you, what a major event it was and how we could host major events. But let's not just qualify through hosting. Let's qualify through our own good play and start making it of not if we're going to qualify, but when we're going to qualify and how well we're going to do in those major competitions.
The 2022 World Cup in Qatar will be the first to be hosted in the Middle East. The infrastructure, stadia and development of the game in the region will receive a massive boost, a lasting impression on the world, and a chance to take their place in an exclusive club of countries to have hosted a once-in-a-lifetime football opportunity, just like South Africa did over a decade ago. Sias du Plessis, CGTN, Johannesburg, South Africa.
All right, let's get into the mood of the World Cup celebrations now with Dan Williams, who is following the proceedings for us in Doha, Qatar. Dan, thank you for joining us here on Sports Scene. Delighted to have you. Well, Dan, I'm ready. You're ready. The officials are ready. The players have played the qualifiers, and they are ready. The question that needs to be asked, Dan, is Qatar ready? How do you see it, Dan?
Well, it has to be said, not yet, but I think it's pretty fair to say that organisers here are pretty confident that it will be. At the moment, there's a huge amount of construction going on. Wherever you look, there are cranes towering over most of Doha. There's huge amounts of construction projects taking place. The hotel where we're staying at, all around that, the precinct, the roads are being ripped up and being replaced with all sorts of different things that are happening there around the whole of Doha, it has to be said. In terms of readiness, in terms of the stadiums, the 8 stadiums, as you mentioned there, pretty much ready. We went to Lusail Stadium just a couple of days ago. That's the last stadium really that has to be completed. That's going to be the flagship 80,000-seater stadium here for the Qatar World Cup. That stadium will host 10 games, including the final. Yeah, that one is a little bit, wouldn't necessarily say behind. It should be on schedule to be passed over to local organisers at the end of this year. But there were reports that it was going to be a little earlier than that. But it's pretty much there. They've done all the construction, but it's now just the finalising process. But as we know at these World Cups, that all of these key competitions, part of it is also to make sure that there's enough time to have those key build-up events to make sure that it passes all the safety certificates ahead of course, the key World Cup matches a year from now. So we're almost there. It's almost complete. The rest of the stadiums, for the most part, well, they're going to be hosting the FIFA Arab Cup, which begins at the end of the month. So another chance for local organisers just to test the facilities of the rest of the stadiums. But in terms of the rest of Qatar, whether that's ready more generally, well, that is perhaps more the question that still needs to be answered. Can Qatar cope with having fans of nations from 32 different countries all together, all in the same place, pretty much in a very compact area? Well, that's the key question that really still needs to be answered as to whether there's going to be fan zones, what the authorities are going to do in terms of alcohol and fans. Of course, the football supporters known for wanting to have a drink while they're watching their games. Those are all still questions as to how the authorities can cope with the fact that there are just going to be so many people in such a small space. But in terms of readiness, organisers are very confident that that is going to be the case come this time next year.
All right, Dan, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for your insights. Fascinating, intriguing, and tantalizing moments are coming our way in Qatar, that's for sure. Thank you so much, Dan Williams.